So you know how like yesterday I met someone who was telling me, you guys talk about the toilet a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's because we care about your health.
Yeah.
You know, you got
movement.
because remember, there's two things that are happening in your body.
Yeah.
You're either taking it or you're releasing it. That's it. That's it. You're taking in oxygen, you're taking in food, you're taking in visual stuff so that you can go and have verbal diarrhea. But then also,
We get ish done.
you know,
We are the ish.
yeah. So run the tip. This is a clip I have prepared for Kerry. No, honestly, because this guy, one day you'll meet a toilet that you don't know how to operate.
We don't want that to happen to you again.
We don't want you to come here with a big ass boil. So, Mungai, run the tape. No, kwanza the one where the guy does one leg. One leg.
Like
One leg. So there you have it. This tutorial, by the way, should be shared in every house. I feel like every house should have like, especially if you know you have a unique toilet where now Joyce just comes to do. I died in that episode. By
and if you prefer to sit down like Kerry as well, you can, Yeah. I'm here for it.
But how's your week been? I know how your week has been.
Yeah. See, every day.
Every day.
Great.
I'm cool, man. I'm chill. Just been chilling.
But then did you guys watch the episode I told you to watch? This new series I told you to watch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Absolutely.
Did you?
Yes.
All right, we're going to discuss it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Make sure.
Yes.
But first, tell me some crazy stories.
Hey. Okay, so this guy, I don't even know. You know what?
Sounds wild. That sounds wild.
There's a guy who was explaining why he's done with Facebook, and it's because he ran into the most bizarre story that I have had this week. Run the tape.
Hi and hello. I'm here to tell y'all why I don't get the fuck on Facebook. This girl just posted as her status. My husband came home crying because he said that he had a mistress and she's pregnant. Then she started crying and he was trying to comfort her and she was pushing him away. And she said she was pushing the wife is pushing the husband away because the wife knows that the husband is infertile, but they have 2 kids. So because the wife knows the husband is infertile, but she wants kids, but she's married to him, she knows that if she tells him that mistress's baby is not your baby, that he'll know that them 2 babies ain't his babies. She don't know what to do. Y'all, it's a mess. Oh!
They have 2 children. Okay? Are we together until there? They have 2 children together. So those children are obviously not his.
Wait, so the side...
Yes! So the side chick's kid is not the husband's child. So how does she tell him that without confessing that he's been raising kids that are not his?
Guy.
We are leaving dangerous.
So who's the side here? It's the guy.
The guy is the side. And he's been the side the whole marriage.
He'll be thinking he's the main. He's the side in his marriage. He's the side with his side.
Guy.
Like
But
Jenny side dish everywhere. Guy.
Me, I feel like, you reap what you sow. Birds of a feather attract each other.
Wow.
Because think about it. She thought she was playing games.
Yeah.
But he thought he was playing games.
Yeah.
So by the time they're confessing to each other, I feel like she should confess to him.
Honestly,
She should just let him know, like, yo, that bitch be lying. Oops. That girl be lying.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because technically, the kid is not theirs.
Yep.
Are they going to raise a kid who's not theirs because they're both liars?
You know what I mean?
They both lied.
And he's going to have to be paying like child support and stuff. That's money that should
So
be
here's
going
my question.
to.
Let me turn to Kerry. So Kerry, let's imagine
Yeah.
you've cheated on me, right? With Joyce, right? And then you come to me like, babe, snap. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Man, I cheated on you. And then the girl, these are my confessions.
Please forgive me.
You remember that girl in part 1 I told her that we were just freaking. Girl came back, she said, she's pregnant. What you gonna do? By the way, for Gen Z, this is a real thing. You need to watch. You need to check out Asha's confessions tape.
Please.
And considering the
Was it
best
Asha
off
or
of
R.
a
Kelly?
real story,
Imagine.
confessions is Asha.
It's not
These are my
Asha.
It's R. Kelly.
Nani. No, me I had it.
The closet
People
thingy
just,
one.
just
It's not
here.
Asha. Me I had it.
Let's bet.
We bet.
Let's just bet.
I swear
Confessions.
it's not Asha.
Confessions.
No, confessions
It's not
is
Asha.
Asha.
It's somebody else's story, but
I'm
it's a
talking
true
about
story.
the skit.
Oh, for real?
It's not Asha's story, but it's a true story, and someone from the industry. I don't know if it's Jadakis. This guy who signed Bow Wow.
It's not Jada Kiss. That's
No, not Jada.
Jermaine Dupri.
I think it's
JD.
I think so.
Oh, for real?
It's somebody in the industry, but it's a true story. Not Asha's, but it's a true
Bruh,
story.
anywho.
So Jermaine Dupri didn't know what it is. This guy made a career of
He, but the guy doesn't
saying,
listen.
"Do you know what this is?"
He doesn't
Like
listen.
every jam, he's,
He doesn't listen. JD didn't listen.
What do you mean?
Because he's so deaf.
I'm tired, guys.
By the
I
way,
wanna go home.
but it's not a tea. I want to tell a joke about disabled. Lakini. Si ukwanga mejam. Deaf jam. Anyway.
Guys, I wanna go home.
Listen. By the Gen Z, that whole story you have to Google.
Yeah.
And
to find out.
Or chat GPT this idea. Anyway, moral of the story, before we move to the next one.
Yeah.
Imagine I come to you, tell you, you come to me, you tell me, babes, oh my God, I made this other girl pregnant.
Yeah.
And now she's saying, yo, we got a baby.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, babe,
I'm sorry too.
you know what? I forgive you. Sawa. And then say, okay, babe, you're so nice. And then they say, actually, the reason I've forgiven you real quick is because I also have a confession. Yeah. So you see these two kids, they're actually not yours. You're actually barren. But nilikuwa na kufichia white maze siku nataka ati mabeshto wako wajue.
Nataka kuembarrass.
Una shoot blanks. Una get.
So
unaona ule moshi ule mwenye osha gari yako. Nilimwambia pin the cup. So you see, and now you're like, babe. Okay, first how are you reacting?
Yeah.
You cheated on me.
My guy, you just came to confess that you also cheated.
Thank you.
My guy,
No,
they've cancelled each other out.
No, yours is worse. You cheated and you've been keeping a lie.
Yeah,
all
but
this
you-
time.
for
Me,
it to
I've
protect
just
you.
cheated and I'm here opening up because the guilt was killing me.
Wow,
I
the
couldn't
guilt
live
over
with
the
the
kid
guilt.
who's coming, the responsibility.
It's going to be on you.
No.
Baby mama drama. Forget that. Let me confess to my wife.
It's the guilt. It's the kid who's coming. Now, for you, you've been living as in our whole marriage has been a lie, like all through.
You've been cheating, bro.
Yeah.
You've been cheating.
Yeah.
Our marriage has been a lie.
No,
We
me
are
me
the
cheat
perfect
too
liars.
juicy.
Sisi ni malaya.
So one liar, two liars.
There we go. So babe, the reason why I'm letting you know, stay focused. We're still a team. We gotta let this girl know that we ain't here for her nonsense.
We belong together.
You know what I'm saying?
Akwende huko.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
It's the
Azi.
teamwork.
Rab.
Oh, yeah,
We are running that.
By the way, note,
Z.
babe, note. I made sure that
I take all my money.
babe, listen. Babe, listen. I think you should even give me a high five. At least I made sure that the father of your kids looks like you. So at least the kids, as in hauna ile
So
aibu. You know-
nobody out there can know.
You know what I'm saying? This is just
Imagine.
between the two of us.
That is so
Or
messed
maybe the
up.
kids look like her, which is easier to
I
get away
know.
with. You know what I mean? Because me, I actually know like a friend of mine who she's the last born and she's not the one who she thought her father was, is not her father, but they all look like the mom. So there was no way he would have known. Yeah.
Does
See what I'm
she
saying?
know that?
Yeah, she found out later, like when we were in
What
university.
kind of question is that? How would Joyce know?
Yeah.
Joyce, haya tuna mom.
Mtu alikuja akakwambia.
Yeah, the mom told me. Now, come
Parents
let me tell you about your friend. She found out later, like when we were in university. She was a big girl when she found out.
But
Yeah.
you know who usually knows these stories? That random auntie.
Yeah.
The one she's like, hey, by the way, now huyu amekuwa mkubwa. Your dad will be so proud of you.
and
like,
he's seated right there.
Is
It's like,
there. No. Anyway, let's not talk too much. Girl, you already said too much. But they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
mad,
such a
man.
wild
but anyway,
story.
poor guy, he's been lied to by 2 women. That guy is going to be a wreck.
No, that guy is a
He's gonna
liar.
be
Why
a
are you guys
wreck.
not seeing
He's
that?
been lied to by 2 women.
But you know what it is? It's true. He
Yeah,
will be a wreck
he'll be a
because
wreck.
everybody knows that no one hurts more than a guy who's been cheating and then he goes to
He
find
finds out
his
he's been
girl is
cheated.
That stuff can end that guy in HDU.
Yeah.
True story. Anyway,
Like, yeah, I cheated on you 9 times, but you cheated on me?
that's crazy.
Sorry.
What's your story?
How hard do you sleep? You know, you can actually make money from it.
How hard do I sleep?
Yeah.
Work hard, sleep hard, you know?
I close my eyes. What are you
No,
asking?
for real. As in, you know, like if you sleep and snore, you sleep. Your sleeping position is one of those. You know,
Starfish.
I don't know. Unalala aje.
Yeah,
like
me.
kabisa.
It depends. If I'm super tired,
Yeah.
I like, yo.
Unajiekelea.
I just hear chairman, yo. No, but he zoyed me. He said, I kick him, he just turns, he looks like she's probably having a nightmare. Yeah, but like I starfish it when I'm tired.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually I can sleep in the same position.
So here's an opportunity for you to go out and make yourself some money. Have you heard of competitive sleeping?
Okay.
Run the tape. So now this is where you can actually go out and make yourself up to 1,500 USD.
Okay.
You make yourself 1,500 USD in a competitive sleeping competition that happens in Spain.
Right.
So now what they do is they gather a group of contestants, and then the contestants are tasked to sleep in a busy, bustling mall.
Okay.
And then you're judged with your sleeping position, how loud you snore, and how quickly you fall asleep. And usually you have like a 20-minute cap. You have to fall asleep in 20 minutes.
We are good. That's why we are good.
So they measure your heart rate and everything. So the person with the deepest sleep, the loudest snore, and the most, insane sleeping position wins themselves $1,500.
I may not win because I don't think I snore.
Yeah, me.
Says everybody.
Nobody doesn't know. Nobody knows.
You know. You are told when you snore. Come on.
Yo.
Now, sometimes it's just that ex who just,
I
eliminates
don't
you.
even need. Okay, guys, let's ask the viewers. Guys, who do you think here snores? I'm just going to nominate Kerry. I know for a fact this guy snores. I know, like, you don't even need to tell me. I know he snores.
Even me, I feel like I would nominate Kerry for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you snore.
I think you snore.
Yeah.
Because you usually have allergies. So, what your
What your signer says. Yeah. Me, about kwa snoring, I would not.
I've been told. Yeah, I've been told I snore.
Yeah, I'm sure it's loud. I'm sure it's this.
And then judging from experience, like I definitely know if you're a guy and you snore, usually when the relationship is new, like they have no problem with it. They don't even point it out. Like it's absolutely okay. But if you want to know, like this babe has choked with you, she starts waking you up at night. Ati lala vizuri.
She's over you.
The only person I do that with, shout out to my mom. My mom snores, right? So, and she the thing is, she likes to sleep in this position. I don't know why.
She's in a coffin.
Listen, that's how I'm sleeping. I don't even need to know what she's doing. I just know she's definitely sleeping facing up. All of a sudden, just
chainsaw.
Like, girl,
wake up, girl, move,
wake
turn around,
and deal with the noise that you're giving us here. I can't sleep with someone who's snoring. Honestly, you have to wake up.
Yeah.
You gotta. But the good thing is, you just touch them. Okay, but there are some.
There's some people.
Turn them.
You push them. Nakufu. By the way, go and sleep downstairs.
Go sleep downstairs.
I can't.
I actually have a friend who the ex used to snore so loudly she'd have to go and sleep in the other room. She couldn't. Inamuamusha.
It's not. Imagine. I don't know.
Alikuwa amechoka na
Yeah,
yeye.
for real.
Like she was tired of him. Like absolutely. Because I'm so sure. Like I said, when he was new, she had no problem with it.
I don't care whether it's we have just met in the street.
Male smother you in your sleep. My God.
I'm like, I don't know. You sound like you snore, homie. I don't know whether we can continue with this relationship because I am a light sleeper.
Yeah. Same. Me, in fact.
Sometimes.
No, me, I have been accused of being dead when I sleep. Like, even those ones for, like, my friend has to put her hand noise. And I don't. Like, she even has to turn around to make sure I'm still there. And I'm like, I didn't even know that's how I sleep. I can sleep, like, I am a very peaceful sleeper.
You freaked out your parents when you were a newborn. Wow.
Do you know what?
I sleep very quietly, and I'm also a light sleeper. So that's why snoring is bound to wake me up.
Do you know what? I think it depends. I know one way I would win this competition. If it's in a bed, for sure, I'm not winning.
No.
But if it's on my couch,
that sleep is different.
Let me tell you, do you know how many times I've invited someone say, yeah, I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm like, all right, bed. I've left. No. Of course, I'm not leaving the door open. Yeah. Holla at me when you fika. My guy, underway. Somebody tells me they've rang the doorbell. Guy. They've pounded the door. Baka they've come to the backyard. They've come there. Pam, pam, pam. Baka they're like, let them tell the security guard something must have happened.
Something is wrong.
Yeah. Right? You're just
my
asleep
phone
on
is
your
always
couch.
on silent, no vibration. So even delivery guys, I've ordered food. It's been paid for. You must imagine, let me wait.
You never learn.
Like, it's 2 a.m. Exactly.
Delivery ilikuwa 2 p.m.
So you can imagine at that point I've won my 1,500.
My guy.
They fungered the mall.
And you're still asleep.
I wake up, I just have money.
Or you're like, thanks guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'd win that. Only if it's a couch.
Yeah, me if it was for playing dead, I would win for sure. And then I was told, like, I don't I don't know. I purr. Like when I'm tired, like there's a car. You know the way cats, that's a sound. That's the closest I've come to. I'm being told.
So let me.
I was like, that is weird.
If I'm being honest, I think that person told you that because they were trying to smash.
Yeah.
It's not really a snore.
I can't make this shit up. Like she was saying if she was to like give it an it's like a purring. That's the only time you can hear me make a sound, and that's when I'm tired.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm dead.
Ebu, hit us up. Who do you think? Do you think you'd be able to win this sleeping competition? By the way, on that note, we're taking a short break here. Yes, we have gone for break time. Hit the subscribe button. And share with your friends. Now is the time. Share with your friends so that they can watch. All right, this next story. It's so shocking. I saw it. I showed Carrie and I was like, what the actual hell is going on in this world? What? And this is all about identity. So before I tell you the story, I want to ask you, have this in the back of your mind. If you weren't like, okay, so you're already a human and you're whatever, but you can identify as something else. No, we live in a world where you can be born a babe and you can decide to identify as a guy. Right?
Yes.
I don't know about in Kenya. But even in Kenya, I'm a guy. I saw just today
non-binary.
I saw an interview on one of the blogs, right? This transgen dresses as a babe.
For the
dresses as a babe.
A drag queen.
But drag queen always feels like, you're like, okay, but drag queen.
They like to dress up, but they're still male.
She was being forward for an interview on one of these, and they were being asked about, I think, politics. And I was just like, Kenya, we are so forward. Walai. Because, people say that they're very homophobic or transphobic. But then at the same time, we live together. So I feel like this hatred sometimes
saying
it comes
he
from...
can't date Luo men, she can't, she.
I didn't even follow that interview. I was just like, we're so progressive. Anyway, what would you identify as? If you could identify as anything else, anything, it could be a TV, a bridge, it could be a newspaper, it could be an earring, whatever it is, what do you identify as? All right.
Okay.
So a few years back, there was a story of this babe called Rachel Dolezal. Yes. Rachel blasted into the news. Why? Because she wanted to identify as a black person. And
she was catfishing as a black person.
She knew for a fact she was black.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't tell otherwise.
Her people are just looking at her like, we're white, right? But
we can see you.
She's black.
Yeah.
Well, there's another babe from Germany. This time, Germany. Did you meet these black people who are white?
Of course I did.
This babe, she's 35 and she started taking melanated
melatonin,
whatever. Not melatonin. Melatonin is for sleeping. Melatonin what? So that she can be black. Aki, this baby is even black. She's like Carrie.
She's
like this. She does, right? Ebu run the tape so that guys see this. This babe is actually a white babe, and now she looks like she angukad on my foundation.
Yeah, man.
Like a bottle of the foundation.
It does not look real. It actually looks like blackface.
She looks bizarre.
It legit looks like blackface. And she went through all the procedures to, now that's her skin tone.
She said she identifies as a black person.
And then it looked like they had to ongeza the size of her lips and everything.
It just looks so
crazy.
It
just looks
so crazy.
Bizarre. That is weird.
But then I saw this and I was just like,
sisemi kitu.
Ngojeni kwanza. What? You're busy here bleaching and there's a jungu over there.
Imagine, anajidunga ndio akwe black.
You think taking melanin injections is cheap?
It's not.
No, it's not.
As in, this baby is actually going to Jobo.
Like it's reverse bleaching.
She's over here. Must work for the melanin.
Imagine.
Right? To go and do all these things to herself to change her to look like a black person.
Imagine.
And there are people here who have, someone's auntie right now, tell her to come and watch this part. So, just tell her to come and watch this part.
Selling you bleach products.
Anytime, just show her knuckles. Show her knuckles now.
Her knees.
Show her this lady who's going to make herself black and you over there. It's like even, it's like people who get into this bodybuilding competitions.
Yeah.
And they're like, you gotta look black. I'm like,
my guy,
I feel like you went to the gym so that you can identify as a black person one day on stage. Just once on stage, right? So anyway, I saw this and I was just like, in America, we've moved from just identifying as other people's races.
Yeah.
These kids are even showing up in school, they're identifying you as a dog, you as a cat. You can be in a class and there's just a toy there. All right, kids. So turn your books to page meow. Who did that? And then there's one who's just like, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, sure. Then they hop out of there like a kangaroo. Like a kangaroo. They dress as furries.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing you call
No.
You're a furry.
No.
You can't dress. You have the nose. You have the nini.
Stop.
But then do you remember that guy who tattooed? He changed his whole body to look demonic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we like the tattoos and his tongue.
Yeah. Find his teeth.
I think that guy just wanted to be black, guys.
Yeah.
That was so strange.
Sudanese. But now the guy is trying to reverse it.
Yeah. And it's painful.
And he even chopped some of his fingers off.
Yeah.
Stop it!
So now here's my question, right?
He cut his tongue.
Like a snake.
Chopped some fingers off. So that he can have 3 fingers on one hand. Right? I hope that spirit never touches anybody that's watching this show. But if you're already in the spirit, you've already modified your body.
We wish you well.
We are too late. We are too late. Just keep doing what you're doing.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's cool. We like it. You know, you can do this without folding these 3 fingers. You can be the one guy who's doing this without actually folding these fingers. It's crazy, man. So think about it, guys. What would you identify as?
I'd identify as a wealthy person. I'm identify as a member of the royal family. I can walk into any bank and just be like, I've got this.
I'm a prince.
I've got this business that it's an idea. I just need funding for it. So give me $65 billion for me to, start it, and I'll go on and challenge Elon Musk. And since I identify as wealthy, they cannot go on and say, oh, we need to look at your books.
Proof of funds.
Hey, we need you to do what? That does not even happen. It's
but
just like that.
Khalif Karo was already doing this.
Yo. Khalif was just chilling.
He was identifying as a rich guy who had money in the Caymans. When things hit the fan, is when we realized, we are here together.
Khalif apologized.
No. But do you remember he was dissing Nani?
Ombachi.
Had money in the Caymans. That's what I'm saying. See, think about it. The guy was identifying as a wealthy guy. And there are so many people.
But it kind of worked. It kind of worked for him, like to some point, right? So identify as a wealthy person. And
I don't know about that.
It's not working out.
What would you identify as?
I mean, I've already been accused of being a cat in pairing, so I guess I'd be a furry.
Yeah,
I already have the temperament of a cat, so I'm halfway there.
I feel like I'd identify as. That's a really great question.
Wow, you hadn't even thought about it, and that was asking all the questions.
It has disappeared.
Think harder.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay.
As you're thinking, Joyce, do you sleep in a onesie? You look like you sleep in a onesie.
I don't sleep in a onesie.
Yeah, like a cat onesie. No, she said she's a furry. Unajua nimeimagine tu she's in a cat costume. Walk around with. She's in a cat onesie. It's got ears, a cat tail.
I'm going to have to steal your hairstyle now, so that I start identifying as a,
I saw some guy watendawili doing this thing.
Oh, so you're a trendsetter.
Starting a movement.
Are you still thinking about what you identify as?
Is it giraffe?
I feel like no.
That's a stereotype.
That's my animal.
No, that's my giraffe is an animal.
Oh, okay. Then identify as well.
No.
You already have the height.
I am already
stereotype.
I feel like it would be difficult for me to identify as anything else.
Why?
Like, because I really like being me.
Wait, watch.
I promise. Like, even
pick something.
Let me tell you, when I was a kid, being a tomboy, people would think that you're trying to be a boy.
Yeah.
But it's not. Even just now, people think that, you're trying to be a man. And I'm like, guys, let me tell you something. Let me just make this very categorically clear.
Yeah.
I have never
identified as.
I love being a woman, a girl. Shit. What did you
She's just a girl,
like,
guys.
Sometimes you can be walking on the street, you see a babe, paka, you even stop.
Yeah.
Wow, right? Very rarely do I do that for guys.
True, actually. No,
because you guys just,
true.
it's similar. It's either minus kitambi or with kitambi. But there's nothing that is special that you can say at, wow, look at that.
What?
Haircut. Haircut.
The
look at the way the shirt fits on there. No.
Wow.
Saddest thing about it, like just look at naked chokoras. A babe naked chokora will stop traffic. A guy naked chokora, people will help away from they will run away from that guy. They'll be like, toka hapa. But babe.
No.
The cars slow down. People are like,
exactly.
There's a lot to look at. Many shapes and sizes. Different. Watch away.
Ametoka hapo.
Gosh.
Anyway. Right. So I just saw the story of this babe trying to be
that is actually so
wild,
bizarre to me.
right?
Like, I know there's a lot of, if you go through the comments, it's a dicey topic to talk about. Let's not talk about it, but it's giving blackface.
Is it
That's all I'm going to say.
No, I don't think. I think blackface is when someone just is trying to. I think
It's trying to be racist.
This babe,
Yeah. She wasn't trying to be racist, but I can't.
to be.
Yeah.
She loves the culture, right?
I don't know how I feel about it. I need time today.
She loves. How I feel about it. You know, it's. I don't know what you're saying, and there's so many. I've already said there's so many aunties who are watching us all over Africa who have tried to be very white, so they have been trying to be
The bleaching project.
You know the way there's melanated, they are trying to be cocainated.
Yeah, cocainated.
I don't know what cocainated is.
Caucasian.
But, you know, like, guys, Mungai, run the tape. How many times do you see a photo of a bride, right, at her wedding day?
Yeah.
You can see her hands. They are black like Kerry's t-shirts, right?
And her complexion is lighter than me.
She is yellow. Yellow. It's not even white now. She's yellow. In fact, she looks like she has put clay on her face. And then, I'm usually thinking this is a skit.
Yeah.
This is a sketch. Like, I'm waiting for guys
No, but it's a wedding
break
for
her
you.
They
down.
really
No.
beat her face, yeah.
They beat it. Like, they beat it so bad, we can recognize her. I feel like she traumatized that. You know that cutting for the mask for wedding? For working, I think it's for UV or something for your face.
Yeah.
She traumatized the makeup like this.
It doesn't even look comfortable.
Ceramic.
Honestly.
It looks like if she smiles, you'll get
guy,
and it will crack and nini. But yeah, so people have been trying to be cocainated. Right?
Can you stop?
So I think we're gonna see more white people trying to be black. Tuzoe ikitu.
Again, I don't know how I feel about it. Let me just withhold my comments for now.
Anyway, seeing as it is a beautiful Saturday and guys are at home, I told you guys I'd been watching this show called Sarabi, and I thought, man, we gotta watch, we dissect.
Yeah.
And then let's not be those guys who come at you see this part, part,
no spoilers.
No, we have to talk about themes. So I want to see. So of course, it's a typically Kenyan show.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And when I watched it, I was just like, okay, on I actually watched it on DSTV stream.
Yeah, same.
Which, by the way, is quite fun to watch.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that they have, like when an episode issues, like I want you to go to the next episode.
Without having to nini.
Yeah. And then also, I don't want to hear the theme song, although that babe sings.
I like how the theme song is also very, I don't know how to explain it, very Kenyan, very African. That was
this babe for the theme song.
Yeah.
Kwani she's there behind, she's just like,
perform
and sing, and then she's like, Sarabi. And every episode it's a different song. That's so cool. Because usually it's like the same song.
Yeah.
So this one I was like, as much as they don't have the skip, I'm gonna watch. And she's like, that episode was whole.
No, she's given it her all. We need to find out who it is by the day. I'll check the credits.
She did. She did.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a Kenyan setup. It's this family that's trading in coffee, and then there's the intricacies there, and so we get to learn about them. But it's Sarabi money. But the easy show toys imagine wapi.
Sindio. Apparently, I didn't even know Sarabi means
Sarabi. I actually thought Sarabi came from Lion King, like the lion.
Yeah, apparently it's a Kiswahili word. What does it mean again?
It's a Swahili word. I don't know.
Guys, it was even there on the Nini and I wanted
illusion.
To talk about it. Illusion, yes. Thank you. Yeah.
It means illusion.
Yeah, Sarabi means
mirage.
illusion. I didn't know that. Illusion or mirage. You learn something new every day.
Oh, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Wacha kutuletea club business zako hapa. This makes so much sense because like a lot of things that are happening on this show is like it's mirage.
Like,
let me just start from the beginning.
Yes,
so there's this guy called
the beginning.
Makodimba. Makodimba is the
Return of the Mac.
The father.
Yeah.
So Uchali ako hapa, and he's the dad. And I noticed something. Okay, I'm not going to give you all the story because we've watched it.
Yes.
But like, okay, he was an orphan. He was raised without the mom.
Yeah.
Right? And actually the first episode you see him going to the
rich family.
No, the mother who had died was he in the what do you call it? The orphanage where he grew up.
Right.
So that's the mother who took care of him. Yeah. See, the guy has figured it starts with him being at the funeral.
Yeah.
And then you realize, wait, is this 40-something-year-old man?
Yeah.
Okay, baby, pardon my ignorance.
Yeah.
Still crying about the fact that he wasn't raised by his mom. I honestly thought that at some point trauma wisha. Like, especially like if you're raised, you're a man.
Yeah.
Like, guys, me, I'm growing up. Like, I'm still growing up. I don't know a lot of things. So I found that very strange. Like, this man is like in his mid, probably like, let's say 46.
Yeah.
But then there's a part where he was seated in the car and he was crying. He was crying. Why? And then he's taking a look, I think, at a picture of his mother. And he's crying. And I'm like, wow.
Sheila, are you trying to put a cap on trauma?
No, I just found it strange.
I don't think it's strange.
Like his life, looking at that scene, like I actually thought that the fact that he's lived up until he's 40, and then the whole story of the series, like how the character has PTR'd so many things, throughout life.
Yeah.
If you get to that point, Yani, all the hard things that you've PTR'd in your life, they still replay in your mind. That one time that the fact that you're an orphan, someone spoke to you badly, Ama, you had a tough time building yourself. Just life has been
terrible,
throughout. And you just tie it down to the fact that if I had a mom, I think it would have been better. And then now the fact that it's trauma that you've not healed, I think you just go back and like you cry. You don't figure a point that you are grown up.
You get over it.
And then you get over it. Because there's grown men who are still close to their mom, like, or close with their parents.
Yeah.
So if you're that kind of sensitive person and then you are still at that age and you don't have a fallback, you don't have a mom that you can go on and vent and say, oh, this girl banana nisumbua sana nifanye nini. Yeah, so maybe
it's so crazy because even for that mother, the one who raised him, he was so emotional about the fact that he didn't know about her. But then also the reason why I guess it caught me and I was like, wow, okay. So in the last episode we were talking about, even just now we're talking about, people who play games and then you end up with children out of wedlock, right? And then one parent ends up not being there and you're thinking, they'll get over it by the time they're 18.
They don't.
You're seeing as a guy who's 45.
Who's 45 and he's not having parents.
And he feels rejection.
Yeah.
Till like it never ends.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I feel like I took it like, wow, is because men never show their emotions.
Facts.
Like you can be at a funeral, all the babes are like, why? The guys are just like stoic. They've worn their suits, they're walking around. Do you need juice? Do you need tea? Do you need? And I'm like, maybe guys don't feel these things.
They definitely do.
I'm now knowing.
They definitely do. Yeah.
I'm now knowing.
And I don't think you can put like a cap on trauma, especially if you haven't done like the work to heal from it. Yeah. Which I think is strange because now he's, a family man with like his own kids. I would think he would have taken some more time to deal with that trauma so that it doesn't like trickle down to like his children. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah. But I don't think you can put a cap on trauma.
Speaking of trickling down, and it's interesting you mentioned that. This guy, this Makodimba guy, the son, Alfie.
Oh, the Nani.
Do you remember
Mama's boy?
2 episodes ago, we were talking about Mama's boy.
Yeah.
This guy, as in glove,
true
hand, poop.
Definition. And the thing is, I feel like we all know an Alfie.
Yeah.
Someone from a well-off family
100.
but is completely rubbish. No offense.
Honestly.
His life is just going down the drain.
Honestly. I mean, aside from the fact that he has an alcohol addiction, which we don't think makes him rubbish, but, of course, to his dad. His dad looks at him as just like, my guy, I'm dealing with the fact that I don't know who my mom is.
And then you're here.
And then you're just here bringing your ujinga. And then when I watch this scenario, okay, first let's deal with Alfie. What did you think of Alfie as a character? Because first he's drinking, right? He's like alcoholic over there, but then here he's trying to heal himself.
Right.
But then I saw him going to meet that babe who I think they met in Rehab.
Yeah.
Right? Because, in Rehab, you still meet your peeps.
Yeah.
And then not everybody Chomoka's Rehab excelled. It's like not everybody goes to school and pass it.
And then you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
This babe is still drinking.
Yep.
I just saw this. I was like, Alfie, I feel
that
like
is not a good move.
Later on in the season, he's going to be back in drugs.
Facts. And I'm waiting to be proven right because I see that. I see that happening because I feel like the true test with rehab is after you've left. It's very easy to avoid temptations when they're not there.
Yeah.
So the true test is when you are actually outside.
Yeah.
So if you're still going to hang around with the same people who will probably like trigger you, a relapse is not far behind. Because like I said, I saw him and I immediately identified like 2 or 3 people that I know personally. And I've seen their journeys personally. They're doing the exact same thing Alfie is doing. And I'm like, you're going down the wrong path, bro.
Man.
You're going down the wrong path.
Sometimes to their defense, or probably the people that you know, and Alfie as well, why someone who'd be struggling like with substances has gone to rehab, and then you go on and chomoka rehab, and you still go back to hanging out with those friends that you both were either at rehab, or you're both suffering the same affliction or addiction rather. It's usually because, one, you knowing this person, if it's in rehab, you've bonded over your addiction, your trauma. So you've got shared stories and shared experiences of, this one time that you got really high and you messed up, you started getting high because of this. So like the fact that you bonded over the addiction, now when you go on and chomoka and you're out in the outside world, you'd want to go, sometimes you'd want to go and relate with, or rather talk to people who would relate to your day-to-day struggles, like what you actually go through. The fact that you go onto social media, like people are saying, oh, we're going to this bash on this day, there's this bash on this day, but you've been told, oh, stay away from bars, stay away from the clubs, you can't really go in right now because you are addicted to it. True. So they like you end up gravitating towards like your people, and it's wrong to say your people, but you end up gravitating towards those people that you met at rehab, those people that you used to drink with, and you'll be like, right now I'm strong, I won't be able to do it. Or another way is, now that you feel like you've been saved, you want to go and save them.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So and I think that's what
I see that.
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because sorry to cut you short. The part you're talking about bonding, I think the word is trauma bonding.
Bonding for sure.
You find people and it's so crazy.
And those are the worst, actually.
Thank you.
Those are the worst.
Because you find like you're going through something, like maybe you're stressed, and then you find someone who's also stressed. So you start hanging out with them, you cut everybody out, and all you guys exchanging is the
misery. Misery loves company.
You're not actually helping each other out of that scenario. So is the person who you're misery bonding with the best person to be around?
To be bonding with.
No. And then also note that the Alfie, the girl, when they were in the bar, when you went to get her from the bar. And she was like, nobody loves me. You get? And I feel like Alfie also has this kind of issues in his, because he was asking, there's this scene where his dad. We're about to unpack the mama's boy in this, right? In that scene where the dad is like, kwenda huko. And that time he's come from having a very loving conversation with the wife. And then the son just shows up and you can see him just getting visibly irritated. And he's like, you're just useless. There's nothing you're doing. And he asks, am I not good at anything? So him and this girl are bonding over the fact that
bonding. They don't feel loved.
They feel like they're not loved. Now here's the crazy part. When the dad finished telling him this, he storms off and leaves Alfie with the mom. The mom is just like, you just do what he wants. I love you, my son.
My baby.
I'm like, I get why this. I get it. I get it. The dad is over here wondering, how did this boy end up like this? And when you're mentioning about, these people in wealthy families who turn out, like they have everything. But the most this person can do is just like, see, we go for drink. The dairy is coming to pick them up, and they're just so.
They have so much disposable income also to spend on things they should not be.
They don't eat, and you're just like, if they could get this seat,
this opportunity,
right? And it just doesn't work out like that. So I feel like the mom is the problem.
Really?
Yes.
The mom is babying him too much.
I think that
he is like a mama's boy for real. I see that. I see that.
And it's like, Ati, you just come in and just do what he wants. So I love you. I was like, huyu Alfie sasa ndio anakuja nje hapa kutesa madem.
But you see, it doesn't stop him from still wanting the approval of his father, no matter how much love she gives him. So I think she's like overcompensating for what the dad doesn't give him by babying him a bit too much.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? But it's not going to stop him from seeking out his father's approval. That's a fact.
And I think
it's not going
issue
to stop
is his
him.
dad.
Yeah.
And men usually have this thing where they seek their dad's approval.
Yes,
do you find that, like, do you have that? Like, you're seeking your dad's approval?
Absolutely. One of the things that I struggled with growing up is actually for my dad to tell me, well done, good job. Yeah, because most of the times that...
Good job, baby.
Was there something?
No, there was something. No, I don't want him to feel bad.
Bas.
Thank you. One of the things was, to be told, good job, well done. Because growing up in African families, like your dad is usually the authoritative figure in the family. Yes, Simba kabisa. Ananguruma yani, and then things just happen in the house. So they and depending on their upbringing, they really don't know how to go on and relate and, you know, tell their children, especially sons, words like "I love you," because their parents never gave them that. So if you get dads that actually do that, it's out of their own will that they decide to go on and do it. Ama, they went through such a really terrible upbringing that they want to now give their children something different. So yes, men do struggle with seeking their father's approval because one, growing up, seeing the things, especially if your dad was, you know, that person, anaitwa chief, ama anaitwa chairman.
Everyone admires
Like he's that guy when there's a mkutano for the famo.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy. His seat is in the middle. He's the one who's kabisa, anaitwa all those.
When he walks into the room, guys keep quiet.
So you definitely also want to get that kind of approval from him.
But you remember,
all the time they're telling you, oh, you're careless. Oh, why didn't you do this? So
do African parents know any different? But anyway, we are learning. But it's not just Africans, even European parents, you know, like British parents as well.
That approval, you'll always look for it, no matter how
Americans
old
are the only ones who are pampered.
Not even Americans, they have this. Everyone has those. When it comes to like parental love and approval, everyone is always going to look for it for the rest of your life, for real, if you don't deal with it.
But it's something you've mentioned. You said that it's the way you want to be treated by your dad. Nimesema the mangapi hapa hebu continue
see what happened
you guys are foolish. No. Mark never got love. Remember, he never got any approval from his dad. In fact, if anything, he feels like he was rejected. And so the same way he feels rejection, he's rejecting his son. It's so crazy. It's like the trauma just keeps regenerating.
He's not breaking the cycle.
He's not breaking the cycle. And I feel like Alfie is not the one who's going to break the cycle. Maybe Alfie's kids will.
Let's have some faith in him. We still have a few episodes to go, so let's
I highly doubt.
Let's have some faith in him.
I highly doubt.
You highly doubt it. Okay, so for me, the theme that I found interesting is the dynamics between Annabelle and Mark. I don't want to give too many spoilers. But
give them spoilers. Wait. Do you remember the part where, first, Mark, as much as I want to be focused on your issues,
turn up the mic.
Let me tell you, Joyce, I realized something.
What?
I know why men go bald.
What?
Hear me, right? Alfie akona nini kwa kichwa yake?
Ana nywele?
Dreadlocks.
Alfie. I thought you were saying Mark.
Mark akona nini?
Kehara.
By the time he deals with rejection of the family, by the time he deals with
being an orphan,
then he's looking at Alfie and it's just like, shit, you have all that hair and instead of doing something funny with you, you're just drinking. So he's mad at him on top of that, right? And then on top of that, he has family drama. And then on top of that, he still has time to be niniring Kahoot scene with his ex-lover of a funeral. And then he has the audacity to be like, the baby's like, because remember the wife came with heels that she couldn't walk in. Then she's like, babe, let's go home. Honey, I'm in here where I'm cheating on you.
With my ex-lover, who was the love of my life.
She walks in and she can still smell the saliva in the air.
I didn't look at you that way, but now that you mentioned it,
when we want to see different things, guys.
No, hizo ni mashida za kujitakia, by the way. Hizo zinaitwa shida za kujitakia.
Yani hapo tu underneath your nose. You can't even feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm over there, I'm just like, you guys, why didn't you tell Mark about the death of the... What? Mark, what are you doing? Anyway, let's talk about this ex, man. How long had they not seen each other? Was it like
20-something?
26 years.
26. It was a long time.
It's
they were kids,
years.
man.
No, guests need to stop lying to us.
No, they were kids.
Guests need to stop lying to us. You see someone who... Okay.
So,
Pause. When you were 16, think about that person you were crushing on. just think about them. Think about them, right? 18. Let's think 18. Okay, 21. That person, right? That person. You guys are even married.
Fuck! Oh my God.
Now just imagine you meet this person 26 years later.
Okay, but see, they want the
Where
love.
the hell is the attraction?
Listen, but they want the love of my life.
My God.
You know what I mean? We want torn apart.
I was just about to say something so wild, but then there's a person I saw who I used to like have a crush on when I was when I think I was like 15.
Yeah.
Right. I used to think this guy looks like DMX. He even used to walk dogs in the neighborhood. And then he used to wear a wife beater. Then he wears this baggy jeans.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm being dropped to school. I'm like, focus, man. Chemistry, biology, Jesus.
What's up?
I'm doing the math and it's just adding me a new 1, 2, 3. Nigga. Hey. Yo.
Me and you make two.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I saw that guy, I think it was about 10 years ago.
Kona kitambi.
I was like, what?
Kona kihara.
Mpaka nikaanza kujinika. You had a crush on this guy. Why? Now I'm just imagining at you're crushing on somebody and then 26 years
but
they
listen,
get out of here.
no, but it's different. Was he the love of your life? He was not the love of your life.
No, but people change.
But he was not the love of your life.
You know, people change. They stop
You guys,
looking
you
the
don't
same.
have an ex who you felt like that's the one that got away. Like if things were to play out differently, you didn't have chosen that person.
Yeah,
it doesn't even have to
absolutely,
be.
there is.
It doesn't have to be from when you were
That you
18 or
guys
19.
20 years later that you guys be like, oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
Like that.
You know,
Get
like,
out of here,
that,
man.
that depends on a lot of things. It depends on how you broke up,
Yeah.
How they've taken
or why
care
you
of
broke up,
themselves.
Yeah.
and how
So
they
you
look.
care if they're still
No, for
fine.
real.
Look at this girl.
No, I actually support that. That was the next thing I was going to mention. It depends on how they look at that
Joyce,
time.
It's about how
Imagine-
they made you feel.
No,
Joyce,
Take you
imagine-
back to the
Imagine
Kweli
you
mapenzi.
have
These people
you've
don't
been
love
putting in the work, you're
Ah.
taking care of yourself, like you make sure you look really good.
Mako
Yeah,
Dimba anakaa vizuri.
yeah, amejiwachilia tu.
Mako Dimba anakaa vizuri.
Anakaa
Isipokuwa
Humpty
hata
Dumpty.
kihara.
Also
nini.
note, chances are this babe, the last time she saw him, he had hair like
You know?
and then she's just continuing with him where they
Maybe she didn't like the hair then.
No.
Maybe she likes that. She's changed. Her preferences
20
have changed.
yes.
Maybe anapenda kihara sasa. You know what I'm
guys,
saying?
No. 20 plus years at and then you just start guzaguzing me. Ha! You are violating me. I'm calling cops.
Okay, that's for
mad.
sure. Ah, call police.
I'm calling police.
Okay, they did move a bit too fast. But, okay, they moved very fast. But it got me thinking, there isn't that one ex, like, if things turned out differently, you would have chosen them. I can think of at least one.
Yeah.
You know, like, if the stars aligned differently, I would have chosen that person. I would be that person still. But, you know, it just wasn't meant to be.
And,
I
and
ain't
then
never
just
admitting anything like that. I know my exes want
Your
this
exes
show.
were
Get
trash.
out of here, man.
Yeah, but they never know
Yeah,
which one I'm
you
talking
don't
about.
know who it is.
Yeah, they won't know.
No, you say something and all of a sudden you start getting high.
Well, block. If it's not them, you
No,
block
but
them.
They don't know who it is.
but I feel like there could be one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always that one.
Let me
If
throw a
things-
spanner in the works,
Yeah.
right? With what you've just asked. So now, knowing that there's always that one ex that maybe there's a chance, would you be insecure if you are that kind of person of, and it's insecure in the toxic way, right?
Yeah.
If your person,
Insecurity is toxic.
no, there's some
It's
like
just toxic.
you are just insecure.
You're
It's-
honest with
yeah,
yourself.
You're honestly
Yeah, you can be honest with yourself.
insecure
Yeah.
about
It's
shit,
toxic.
you know.
Toxic.
You're a person saying they are nudists.
Chila
They
ni
want to
toxic,
go
ndio
watch.
maana nasema
To,
hivyo.
no,
Walk in a
insecurity
nude
and
beach.
toxicity, honestly. Think about it. Not before I digress. Yeah, why do I say it's toxic? Just tell me one time insecurity mention a positive thing out of insecurity.
It made me love myself more, realizing that I'm insecure.
No, girl.
You know, I had
You-
to
you
look
got
myself in the
yourself
mirror
out of the
and be like, you
insecurity.
are beautiful, you are worthy.
When you got
are...
out of the toxicity, insecurity is toxic.
No, not really. Okay, here's one chance. it makes you, you know, just not move on and pick the next body.
Because you're
You-
injured.
This one is talking about
Because
his
you're
personal
injured.
issues. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, trust me.
I have to make it personal.
Uh-huh.
All right, so now I'm saying throw a spanner in the works in that ex Toro, knowing that there's always that one ex that your person would, you know, go on and give another chance. Your situation, your kitchen, right?
TJ.
Yeah, in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Mark's wife, would
found
she
the-
have
he
been?
found the
Yeah,
meal.
would she have been wrong? Like if she knew who this baby is, what is gonna go?
She knew.
All right. Would she have been wrong?
She knew. Let me see.
If she told
Instincts
She
are
knew.
not wrong.
From high. You don't remember when they salimiana and then she's like, who is
Walipatiana zile
that?
macho za
She asked, who is that?
because something inside her ilimwambia hapa kuna kiru.
Even
Yeah.
as
She
she
didn't
came,
tell her.
even as
but-
she came to the kitchen with her
Yeah.
stilts.
Yeah.
Right? Those heels that she was wearing.
Stop.
No, I call heels
Stilts.
that I find difficult to walk in. Those are stilts, right? Even if it's 1 inch, it's a
Yeah.
stilt on you, right? Once she came there, Mark is like, I'm here. And Mark knows the baby's walking on stilts, right? She gets there, and the first thing, remember, she gave that babe an eye look. Those
Yeah.
sorts of like, I know I smell history all over you.
Yeah.
I know I smell why Mark has been. You smell like
Yeah.
something Mark has been inside,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. There's just something about you.
Yeah.
You just seem like Mark's seeds have been inside you. She was giving her that look.
So would she be wrong if she goes on and tells Mark, like, I don't want you around this person? Like,
No,
absolutely.
shouldn't be wrong.
No,
She
shouldn't be
you
wrong.
want to do
Because
business.
Because that's the guts.
No, you're not even even if it's biashara, there's no biashara happening.
give a
over
damn.
here.
Yeah.
We'd rather go broke.
And
Yeah,
let me
walai.
tell you, I think, and I'm about to sound very
Unhinged.
controversial here. So you know how, like, I'm sure, have you ever experienced something like you're in a relationship and then your person just starts being insecure about somebody in your, okay, now be honest. Was there smoke? Be honest.
I've
Be
got two
honest.
instances. Once, yes, as in there was fire.
I said smoke, bro. I said
Yeah,
smoke.
for real. And
There
then-
was
Oh,
not
you
even
burn
smoke.
them.
And then the other one where it was a chimney from the neighbor's house.
But
Like, it wasn't,
it was
there was nothing. No, there's actually
On your end, there was nothing. Not on her end.
yeah, maybe.
Exactly.
Because wewe unakwanga na ignorance ingine
sana.
hapo sana hata sisi.
Eh.
Wewe kwanza hata wewe bethe your next girlfriend you're going to be
Complain.
BFFs. Simwambie hii ni ujinga. You're lucky I'm your friend. Because this guy, the other day he goes to a party
God.
and then there's a photo of his that he's talking to a babe and he basically looks like they are kissing. Right? But
It's a club.
Chill your nyasha, finish saying what I'm saying. But then the thing is, the day when he was wearing first that pink suit for Marihaduk. But then first you need to tell us what Marihaduk's story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It
This
was that
guy-
day.
I
It
know
was-
where you're going with this.
You know how like some people can be unavailable but available. Right? You're in a relationship, but then you're just like, yo, yeah. You're giving those vibes for like,
I'm available.
I wanna.
Nene.
And then he asks like, what did I do? It's like
I was giving that energy.
let me give you.
Ama it was the babe
let
was
me give
doing
you
it.
in
'Cause-
reverse so that you see it in a way that you can understand. Right now, just imagine your babe, right? And then I'm meeting like say Mungai. I'm like, oh Mungai, hi. What am I showing Mungai? What am I showing Mungai?
Vibes.
That you're open for business.
Joyce, you gave me weapon. Now I'm just saying, you are that guy. You fit in the box.
No,
Yeah?
but do you know?
You're lucky you're not in a relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Honestly, because wewe kama ungekuwa kwa relationship hata babe wako ungekuwa
Hey,
unaniambia,
hey.
imagine she was mad at this. I'm like,
I see why.
I don't know who's
I didn't do
Team
nothing.
again.
It was the babe who was shikaing me. Kwanza she invaded my pride. No, you did not.
How does Machali? How does a babe? Okay, out of all the 75 niggas who were in that party, right? Why did she choose to do those things to you?
She said, let's take a photo. I can't remember.
What
I
is
was
taking a photo? What is the process of taking a
Nilikuwa
photo?
niko
Si nikusimama tu
on,
na
by the
kuangalia
way.
picha hivi. Si hivi, no, but the only reason you do those things is to people who give you the signal
Wanakupatia
that I'm available.
vibes. Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
babes, we do this all the
Umepatiwa
time.
green
By
light.
the time
Green
a guy
means go.
moves from wherever he is and comes to my table and
Yeah.
say, oh, what's up?
So-
I sent him there. And I said this before. Nisha kutumia nini
Telepathically.
I'm open. Kuna mwingine amekaa hapa next to me.
Mbona hujakuja huo?
Anashanga, how do I start? Nimeka padlock. Nimeka fence, Fort Knox. Even when he says, ha, I'm just like, could you ha during facing that side?
Shout.
Check out. Angalia the side.
Zip it.
I've given the sign way ata kwanza. If you touch me, I'm calling the bouncer. Because I'm not.
Guys, focus. We've digressed. Can we please go back to Mark?
So
And Annabelle,
what I'm trying to
please.
say
Yeah.
is Bibi Mark. What's Bibi Mark's name?
Annabelle.
Annabelle. No, Annabelle is the mini side
What's her
piece.
name?
It starts with an
That one.
L.
She's definitely taking L's.
No. Yes, she is. I swear.
Because she's taking. And you know, when they arrived at that place, there's something she said. She said,
Lord,
I'm bringing you here so that I can see where you grew up. Right? The people who you know. And also, but then, before I digress, right? She says she wants to see where he's come from.
Yeah.
And within 2 minutes of where he's come from, she's already met a problem.
Yeah.
As in, women know these things. Like
Facts.
her intuition has already told her, you see that, babe? Problem.
Kuna kitu hapo.
Wanaangalianga longingly.
Longingly into their eyes.
Your eyes have gone, but they've lingered. You think I can see you?
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
You think I can see you? And me, but then if we're dating, my eyes are like, they're like
wide
a fly. I see
Unaangalia
everything. I see front and back from one angle.
Eyes behind your head.
Yeah, I can see what has even made you like a spark in your eye. I'm sent an alert in
Why
my head.
your eyes
There's a spark in
glimmering?
his eye.
Yeah.
What is that spark?
What was that spark?
Who gave you the spark?
Me, I've never seen it
Let's see
before.
where the spark has come from.
What direction are you looking at
That
when you
sparky babe
sparked?
is the one that you're sparking for. I can tell all these things.
Yeah.
So, but then also, so you were asking about.
No, I was
if she
asking
should-
about,
if
if
she-
she should like say
100%.
Yeah, 100%
Mark,
say no.
Mark
Yeah, say
Mark
no.
and this babe like Annabelle Akuna.
And that's why he's not going to tell her. I'm telling you, tunaweza fika hata season 2 before she finds out
Do you
the
think
history
they-
these two had.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
real.
I don't
He's
think
not
we'll know
going
in
to
season
tell
one.
her.
Yeah.
But he clearly wants to dish her. Hey.
I think
Anaingia kwa jikoni in the kije. He has found the meal anakula hata bila kunawa.
Inakata ilisha happen. Like, I mean, see, they had something when they were toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a bit
Do
too
you think
fast.
that?
guys.
How serious do you think their relationship was?
I think it got so serious that Annabelle's daughter is Mark's toy. Because Annabelle's daughter, her name is Sheila.
Sheila.
Sheila's the older one or
the older
older
one.
one. See, of course,
As
'cause by the time they broke up, yeah.
Annabelle doesn't want to let Sheila know who the
that her
dad
dad
is,
is
right?
Mark.
And mi nilika hapo nikiangalia hiyo kitu tayari nikafanya,
You think Sheila is Nani's toy?
100%. Joel, I'm with you. I'm
as
with
in
you.
kabisa.
Yeah.
And it's quite weird because now, I said because now, my English, Jesus Christ. It's quite weird that they'll put them together like that. And I have a prediction. I feel like Alfie and Sheila are going to like each other. And they like each other to a point where, as in their parents,
somebody's going to have to tell them the truth.
Yeah, somebody-
oh my God!
Yeah, and it might be too late.
But here's my
I
question.
hope it would be true.
Here's my
Guys,
question.
what?
Here's my question.
I want it to be too late so that it's spicy.
You want to see incest?
It's not the acting.
Why would you do it like that?
I have a question.
Ni bana
I
wewe.
have a question for you, Joyce.
Wanna hack.
So you said that they could be siblings. Early in the week, last week, I think, there's a listener who sent us a message and said that she found out that her mom is her dad's side piece.
Wait.
So then she exactly. You know, because we're always throwing this one side piece here, to the other kid. These kids have grown up.
Yeah.
So she was raised by a single mom, but
No,
she.
her dad has been in the picture.
Her dad has been there.
What do you mean?
You know, niggas have time. Niggas have time.
For cheating, they got time. What do you explain this to me, guys?
Nobody has time more than a guy who's two timing. And
What
I
do you
multiply
mean?
the time.
They can be in so many places at once.
Families,
What do you mean?
Honestly, so now she was like, should she confront her folks so that they tell her the truth of what went down? Because she now knows that there are siblings on the other side. And of course, we discussed it and we agreed that.
And both families in Nairobi.
Bro.
My guy.
Why unasema nini? There's even that story of this dad who had been working both wives in the same estate.
In the same estate.
You're just playing with Stacey.
My guy.
You're just playing there with Stacey. You're like,
Stacey
Stacey
alone.
is my best friend.
Come it's your sister.
Your mama co-wives. Your dad is just nicely doing his thing. Huyo nyumba ingine ni single parent. He's just because the dad wants to be the lives of the kids. He just wants to see them. He wakes up in the morning, he opens the curtain. Oh, wanacheza.
Yeah.
They're growing. Okay. The food I sent, they're eating. Nafunga curtain. He's watching you grow. You just don't know it. You know that? Somebody's watching me. I hate that song. I'm tired of that song. I can't, stop playing that song, guys. Enough. Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, yeah,
It's a mad thing.
Crazy.
And
People
I
need
feel
to
like
start telling people. 'Cause
No,
if this babe,
that would be a very interesting
if this
storyline.
babe hooks up with her brother,
My
like now
guy.
Alfie,
yeah, and it's too
'Cause they
late.
don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. You can't even go on and blame them because, as in, these things happen.
Ama, you come, you know,
They happen out there.
the best part.
Single parents hide the identity of the other family from the kid because I mean sometimes the parents you've got beef with this other side.
Yeah.
You hate the dad's guts like kabisa. Their family were terrible to you, so now you don't even want your kid to go on to associate with them. But now that cuts your kid off from knowing that they've got family elsewhere. Like I'll just even bring it closer to home. Me, my shags, there's a story, where. After it happened, my grandma was like, Z, all my grandkids, they need to be going to shags.
Yeah.
Like you need to
Wajuane,
you need to go to shags every single.
Otherwise they'll be shagging.
Yeah. Otherwise you'll be in Nairobi. Uko, you go on and meet in Nairobi, and then you go on and say at you, so like now my example, at I've met this girl, now I want to take them shags. I take them shags, and then that one auntie
Like, how do you know my grandmother's house?
Yeah.
Hey.
Not even that. There's that one auntie who says, "Si wewe ni mtoto wanani." I mean, it's far fetched, but
It's not far-fetched.
okay.
It's not far-fetched at
or rather,
all.
it's so wide in the family tree, but you're related. I mean, being African, even if as in your cousin marries someone else's cousin,
who is also your cousin.
You're all cousins.
Here's the thing, guys. I just want to just wheel it back to cousins is okay. According to the law.
Oh, my God.
Honestly.
Oh, yes.
What do you mean?
You see,
Yeah, the law can
if it's
recognize.
you and like
You can
say
get a
your
marriage
brother,
certificate.
that's wrong, right? But your auntie's child is fair game.
Even though it's your first cousin.
Ukienda
Let me
Sheria
tell you,
house,
those
you
first,
get married.
second, third things, those are only things in your house. According to Gava, Asemati, can you imagine this one and this one, they are cousins? Gava is like, where is the problem? Show me the problem.
Huyo MP alikuwa alienda
So you
nini
can marry.
benchmarking Alabama.
Yo.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
So you
mad
can-
though.
yeah.
So, it begs the question, like, do you know your whole extended family?
No, bro. But
And so many
but
people, how
me-
many, like, you know all your relatives? Me, I usually have got this thing. I mean, if you come from my tribe, I won't date you. And it's not because that
There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, it's just because I know my extended...
Umesema huwezi date msichana mmoja.
Will Prosa, hapana, tutakuwa marafiki tu. Because my extended family is so big, as in to a point that I don't know. You know?
Bro,
you
now
might date somebody and then you go on and find out you're related.
As we've done that a bunch of times, like when I say us, I mean like on the
immediate family,
things.
I know, yeah.
And when you're doing the getting to meet the family,
Yeah.
then the shoshos come, they're like, I am the all the shoshos know each other and you're just
And
like,
you're like, so
wait.
utadu, mshafika hiyo point, utadu.
You're inviting people, then you're like, oh, let me go get my auntie, she's here. Oh, let me also go get my auntie. You're
You're going for the same person.
auntie.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. So
What do you
at
do?
that
Yeah.
point, and that's why I'm telling you, like, I don't think these things are
You're already
as
in love.
immoral as they are, because I've seen there being negotiations. You know, where they're just like, okay, where this has already happened. Because by the time
Lakini brother and sister.
Brother and sisters.
That's gross.
And that's why I feel like it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. First,
If you have children outside, useme.
if you planning to have sex and there's a toy, my guy, if Makodimba is not a case study,
I swear.
this kid can live. They're older than you now.
Imagine.
You guys, how does someone become older than their parents? You know, sometimes muna responding vitu hapa.
No, me, I'm just imagining
I
the
said,
nini.
yo.
No. Me, I'm trying to imagine the whole
They are 90,
conversation.
But they're there in the old people's home just saying, you know, my mother, my father. And you're just saying, what? How are they still on this? So as you're doing mechi huko, you're just at umtoi atakuwa tu sawa bila mimi. It's not true. It's not true. You know? Just imagine somebody is the president and they're facing rejection of their father. So they just stigmatize us with their nonsense.
Stop.
No, for real. No,
Yeah.
as in, Joyce, I started this by telling you, I found it strange
yeah.
that a guy in his mid-40s
Yeah.
is still traumatized about the fact that, you know, his dad wasn't in the picture, his mom wasn't
he was
in the
an
picture.
orphan, yeah.
When we think about trauma, especially parents do to kids. We think of, teenagers, some people in their 20s. You never think about somebody in their mid-40s.
Older, 50s,
I
feel it still
60s,
affects
70s,
them,
Like when you said, dads don't show us this love because they haven't received it. Just imagine, if you're feeling like this, how must the person, even if they're 60,
how are they feeling?
Because these people are on social media right now, like this. Because if you're watching how Gen Z or Gen Alpha are being treated, or the things that they have, and you say, "Man, I wish I had that." Just imagine what Gen X and Boomers feel when they see. Oh, you mean there's this? Yeah. Man, I never experienced this. And in fact, there's like, at least by the time us guys were kids, beating was like just to a humanly capacity. Not that one for chapa kama nyoka. Surely. You've not had phrases like ati alinichapa kama nyoka. So this one, punda, it depends on it, or what's the cash crop in your neighborhood is. If it's donkey, if it's snake, right? But you'd hear the stories that someone is even tied to a tree.
Yeah.
Right? You're tied to a tree and you're beaten by your parents. And you're like, did they hate you?
Yeah.
No, but that was normal in their times. Yeah. Right?
It was a punishment.
Alionekana akiongelesha msichana huko kwa river or some shit. Just something so minute. Trivial. You took food from the kitchen because, be honest, people were poor.
They didn't have.
Right?
Yeah.
So they did the best that they can. Now to think that there's a mother right now, there's a father who still, as they're trying to raise you, right? They still have their own trauma
that they need to deal with.
So imagine you're just looking at your parent. Look at your parent. Can you imagine how many traumas they have?
My God,
and then they look at how the world is right now. They're like, man, I should have been born now.
I would have gotten a bit more
my mom shared with me some of the
sympathy,
traumas.
something.
Like when she was in school, their teachers used to be so mean. And there's this teacher who beat her so bad, right? And it was normal to have like the student to be removed the dress, to be beaten. It was normal.
Stop.
Back in the day, it was normal.
No. In front of the boy students as well. Shut up.
We're talking about 60s, I think 70s, right? It was normal.
What?
It was normal. In fact, by the guys, as we digress, remind me we finished with a story from back in the day. It will leave your mouth agape like that. Anyway, so this show Sarabi, I mean, I'm enjoying it. There's another issue. There's another thing I picked.
What other thing did you pick?
This show has given me trust issues.
Why?
Guys, the way you're working hard to build like something for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about because there's the part for building where you're hustling, you're struggling. Oh my God. Then there's one day you'll have built.
Yeah.
You got will just be there to go to see the site. You're going to your business. Where is on any boxes up? You have employees, right? Who do you trust? Who do you trust to take care of your things? Because when Shosh went to hospital in this Sarabi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The foreman, he's already making phone calls. I mean, I haven't gone far to see where he's going with this, but I can tell they're trying to probably steal her property, her businesses. Even that part, when he said that, the cows are not producing enough milk. I'm like, not producing enough milk? All of a sudden, when Shosha's
she's in hospital.
And in my head, I'm just like, are there people who can be trusted? Like, you can hire someone and say, you're my foreman. You have a salary, right? Just make sure you keep this business going as I step away. Like if you're an entrepreneur, lazima ukue na macho zako hivi. There's no for being sick, there's no for dying, there's no for going on vacation. Otherwise, the business will. Because even after you die, the kids you give, they start fighting for. I think there's a supermarket or two here we've seen.
Yes, that has
similar issues, right?
Where
families start fighting and they steal from each other.
Even your own family yaki. Guy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So when I was watching this, I was like, so now you work hard and then you just pray that nobody steals from you. Because someone will go and change the documents. Right? Because you can't walk around with the things here in your house.
I've actually seen
when
that
you leave the house, there has to be someone in the house. It can be your kid. You've seen those ones where the son has gone and changed all the documents.
Imagine.
And the mom is just sitting there.
Imagine.
Or the mom and the dad are in the house and you're wondering, by the way, I went to the bank and that title deed. The bank is telling Mr. Your son has gone and changed everything.
Maybe now it's making sense why certain parents hide the amount of wealth that they have from their kids. Because now when the parent dies is when you find out they actually had so much property. You're like, why didn't they tell their kids? Maybe they didn't trust anyone.
And especially, who knows the kid more than the parent?
Tunajua.
You cry in evil. venye tu unalia tu unafanya sura hivi, we just know haka ni kamwizi hatupendi haka.
It's crazy, especially how you see uko maju. I'm sorry, I'm going to use that example because that's what I see, where wealthy parents and wealthy families work in trusts and lawyers for them to go on and manage their property. But here it's just inheritance. I mean, like, it's my dad's company,
so
he dies,
is mine.
it's going to be mine. So these papers I can just go on and change, and knowing that there's this company, mimi nitapata kazi hapo, so I'll just go on and do it and change it, and it's already mine. So I mean, I think they know.
Oh my God, is that why it's called a trust fund? Because it's the only one you can trust.
You put it in trust.
So you work with lawyers, work with trusts.
That makes
and
sense.
Because even title deeds, people change their, like, unaweka jina hapo.
Here where you can even bribe your way into heaven. You think you can't change that?
You put a will, you said, na hile toothpick yangu, nani apatiwe.
Bas.
Matchbox. Chairman, awashiwe moja kila siku. And then, your sister has come and said, what?
But I wanted the toothpick.
Anakuja hapo anafanya hivi nonsense. Ebu lawyer sit there, write this in my handwriting. I knew her handwriting. And they just start changing things there. And you had already made your mind up. So I feel like maybe a trust would be the way to go. The way to
for
go.
Sure.
But kama kuna 5 bob, trust inaweza chukua 5 bob yako. And then finally, I mean, I do love this show, and I really enjoyed watching Sarabi. By the way, guys,
I'm looking forward to how it unfolds.
DSTV stream.
Mimi prediction yangu.
I'm with you on that one.
Make sure you get DSTV stream and watch Sarabi, and then so that you can also join the conversation when us guys are having this.
And give us your predictions as well. We want to see where you think the story is going to go by the next episode.
But this family, these Odimbas, because clearly we can see that things are going to hit the fan.
Very quickly.
I have a feeling Alfie will hit the fan. Then the wife will start having beef with the other side Nani, piece. Right? And then considering Mark is unstable, I feel like he will just go even more unstable. Right? Because there's no way they would spend so much time showing us his mental state if it's not going to play a part. So I feel like that will play a part. But what I found shocking, right? After they've finished Someanaing there, I remember that part where I told you that scene where the dad is causing at him. And then the mom is like, it's okay,
my baby. Oh, Baba.
The next scene, they're in a boardroom. Mark is seated here, the wife is seated there, the son is seated there, and 2 other board members. And it got me thinking, because that's the company's called Mark Holdings, right? It got me thinking, working with family. You work with family. Right? Because just remember they'd come from talking to each other at lunch in the breakfast table. And then 2 minutes later, they're in a boardroom. All right, so what did the customer client say? I'd be like, kwenda huko kwanza hata.
Umetukana tu sahi unataka
ndio boss wa kila kitu hapa.
You can't talk like that in front of
others. Kila pahali.
Why would you wash your dirty laundry in public? See, other people.
This is a family.
Other people are there. Usinini mambo ya nyumba.
They stay focused.
You can tell them, please step out.
It's a family business. Kama jina yako ni Mark hapa, inua mkono.
Me I have a feeling Sheila would fire her family every other day.
One time.
Wakikosana, you're fired.
One time.
And then they come back, akosane na mwingine, you're fired.
One time.
Yeah.
One time.
It doesn't work like that. You have to have decorum.
I don't think you can make decisions in a family business. Like, you know the way there are those ones who say, you start a business. So everybody gets 20% and everybody can be able to make. No, you got to nominate one person to be making the decisions.
Yeah.
Because just imagine you and your sibling. Okay, I don't know how you...
So what's the point of having board members if it's just one person? You sit and you discuss. And
I don't know whether I can do business with my family.
Okay, good to know.
Because I just feel like... I feel like when we have an argument, right, about, like you're just being an asshole, right? And then now I have to meet you later.
Yeah.
That's the reason why my life is fragmented. When I finish having an argument with you, I close that chapter. I go hang out with Kerry at work.
Lazima TV.
Kerry kinibo, lazima TV. Naingia TV ingine. So now just imagine if I'm tied to, as in...
Everywhere.
How do I cool off? Now we're doing a board meeting. I'm like, achomeki.
Choma yote.
Kwanza, you'll be sitting in that boardroom. You're just like, Kwanza, there are some people here who haven't been doing their things, but we're not going to point fingers.
I'm not pointing at anybody.
Nobody in particular.
One here.
Everybody can carry their own cross. Right? The subliminals, kidogo, we've teamed up. Now me and my mom, we're against my dad.
You can't do...
I just feel like it's a recipe for disaster.
There is money involved. You always have to think about the money.
The subs will be terrible. How do you like run a business? You're there telling your sibling, or rather your sibling is telling you, giving you subs of how we're gonna give you responsibility for this project, and you're not even responsible like to flush a toilet.
Thank you.
Yeah, something small like that.
This one is handling the accounts. They're leaking like the way he leaks in bed till he was like 15.
Imagine,
right? Subliminals too in a half and half.
It's crazy.
You work with your family.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. There has to be decorum, man. Some things you just have to table them for later. You have to shelve it. And again, at the end of the day, there's money involved, so you have to think about the money. You know what I mean? Because now, utaichoma, because you're very reactive. Utaichoma your siku, and then the next day you need money. What are you going to do? You can't build it back up again.
This is my family. We're not happy. Where are you going?
No.
We have an argument.
But
you still have to come back tomorrow.
Hiyo pesa ni yenu nyinyi wote. So mtu moja akichoma unachomea kila mtu.
That's why, guys, it's just too risky.
And then, so now decision making, like how does it go? Do you split? Is the best way, like you're saying, splitting 20-20-20-20 for it to be 100? Ama there's one person who's like let's say now Mark. And Mark is the one who
it's
would
his
say,
company.
Kila mtu anakuanga na shares. That's how family business works. Kila mtu anakuanga na shares.
Yeah.
How
but
you divide the shares
but there's the one
there's
person
obviously the decision.
who can say, I don't care what you think.
The director is the
Now just
decision.
imagine Joyce. Joyce is the director, and then your mom is just a shareholder, right?
Yeah, I'd have to be the one to make the decisions. No, for real.
How you're telling
You
your
have
dad,
to.
you Kwanzaa.
You guys, I don't like the way you talk to mom. Maybe apologize before you take your shares.
Go to retirement.
Kwanzaa, there's somebody here. We are just carrying your dead weight. Hakuna kitu unafanyanga hapa. Every time you can't, because it's your dad. There has to be like respect. You can't be like, you're letting the team down. You have to be like, Dad, you remember the way, like, remember that time when I was at OE and then you did this?
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I'm not the director, clearly.
No.
So at least the hierarchy of respect is still there.
Unless
still
it's like
subordinate
silent partners. Kila mtu ni silent partner. Lakini also, I just
kazi yenu ni kucollect tu, anajua unalipwa this much, you go do your thing. I think that's...
Guys, I mean, you've seen, look, I think it's Tuskies, which came falling down spectacularly. Because siblings, I think, were fighting and, and so many other businesses that we've seen. And for me, the one thing I say, okay, the only way I'd work with family is if we've done it our whole lives, right? You see the way Indians do it. Like, otherwise.
So you are inducted into this thing as soon as you could count 1 + 1.
You know their skills. But that one where... but that one where...
I swear, that's how early they start. It's not
that's
even
how
a
my
joke.
friends were. Like the bus, sisi tukidropiwa home,
unadropiwa kwa duka. Kuja kufanya
job. Kwa duka, akifika hapo hivyo kwa duka.
Unaanza shift.
Anaingia anafanya kitu kazi.
That's so crazy.
Start running the register something.
Ama in your mom has a restaurant, unadropiwa hapo, anza kuosha vyombo.
Because if you want all these nice things that you are able to afford, do you have to chunga that business, whether you like it or not?
Yeah, and you see that at that point you've learned like to work with each other. But like it's that one where you've now decided you guys are 40, and then now you're like, see, you retire your job.
Don't
you guys will head back. Because now sisters.
Don't do that. Don't do.
But there are those families that have managed to succeed at it, and kudos to them. Maybe they can write to us tips on how
they did
to be able to work with your siblings. Because I've tried to work with my siblings. I mean, I do work with one of my siblings, but we're constantly butting heads. And it's normal, right? I just feel like if we were seated at the same level of decision making,
it would be problems.
I'd be in prison.
I'm telling you, she would fire her family members every day. Today she's fired her father. 2 weeks later, he's back. Today it's her sister. A month later, she's back.
I know. Because
tomorrow it's her mother.
Yeah, because I don't think we have that kind of relationship of working with each other.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I finish school, I go there, I be proactive and creative, and then I come home and be useless. You get? Because you love me the way I am, but out there I have to go prove myself. Yeah. But then now when we have to now bring these things where for proving yourself, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've never actually worked with this person.
Yeah, I don't know what you're like as a business person.
Yeah, it becomes crazy. And so even with Akina Makodimba, when I saw them at the board meeting, I was just like, Alfie woye. Huyu mtu ametoka kuambia useless, and then now you're kukaa
kwa nini? Imagine.
Where are we at? Kwenda huko. And then parents, by the way, can I just say a big shout out to parents. especially the ones who take responsibility. Because, you know, when I was watching, I was like, I can imagine having a toy like Alfie. And that time you pray to God, Aki, God, will you give me, like, you know, give me a chance to be a parent, blah, blah, blah. And then you get a toy who's just, guy! Right? And then you still have to love them.
What was that?
You know, no, that's what I'm saying. As in, you gotta be parents. Because Ushafika age, you should be out there. You're no longer my responsibility. But I still have to take care of your food, your dressing, your clothing, we still have to be like, Alfie ako sawa. Ebu check Alfie kama ako fiti. Kichwa yake iko poa. Who is he hanging out with? It's like your parent forever. At that time, when you were a teenager, I was like, Aki 18 if you can raka. So I can get out of my house. You know, so that we can be freaking in the living room.
Your priorities are just...
I'm guessing that's why parents want their kids to be there. You know how parents in silence is
how parents tiptoe to get to do it.
Bro, you know, I have a friend who's actually ever walked in on her parents. I was like, how did you ever recover? Me, I wouldn't have recovered. I would not have recovered. I actually would never have recovered. To this day, I'd have burnt my eyes out.
I'd be a priest.
I would have burnt my eyes. I would rather go blind. Yeah. Yeah,
is she in therapy?
I hope so. Like, and we're in high school.
Oh, God. Had she...
That's how you start drugs, baby. You gotta forget some things. You know, they say to stay in the moment. No, you don't see. You haven't seen what I've seen.
When she saw them, like, getting active, was she active?
No, we're in high school. We're, you know...
Did she run?
Let that stop
acting, Mom.
Why are you acting like
Mom, why are you crying?
Yeah. You're crying and you're saying don't stop.
No, Dad, stop.
Unachapwa lakini unasema don't stop. Hey.
I'm sorry, I digress, but yeah.
That is the most unchristian thing
Burn my eyes out. I would burn my eyes out. Jesus Christ.
That's so crazy, man. That's so crazy. But you know, guys, we are out of the whole animal kingdom. We're the only ones who don't see our folks doing things.
Yeah, true.
Because the other animals,
for a reason.
Just imagine you're a cat.
For a reason, because we have the conscience.
Even can animals have conscience? You're sitting there one afternoon there with your mom cat. Meow meow. Then another cat just comes from nowhere. You don't know this cat, right? And then the next thing is just jumped on top of your mom. And that's when they're kang, kang, kang. And you're just like, oh my God. Right? And then you're just like, okay, fine, enough. Okay, great.
No, stop.
Tomorrow, there's another one. Until the season is over, right? Mating season.
No, I feel like cats are discreet. Dogs, on the other hand,
discreet to me. I've watched.
No, they're discreet to humans.
I
think to cats,
or to each other.
To each other, wanakutana.
Hear me out. Cats are not as discreet. They're not as discreet. When you pay, it's because human beings, you don't pay as much attention on cats. Me, I do.
But why have I seen more dogs than cats? Even me, I pay attention to cats.
Dogs don't have manners. Dogs are manners.
Exactly.
Dogs are dogs. Cats. There's a cat that Kujat the other day to my house to call Chairman because she was on heat. Guys, it was crazy. And you know Chairman is neutered. So he'd go out, he gives out 2 seconds. Papa! Then he comes back. Then she's like, hi. He goes back. Like, I watched this whole thing. I'm just like, bro, I'm sorry I neutered you. Because I feel like he doesn't have stamina.
Bruh, my cat has ever come back with...
Chaser.
Go.
Stop making other cats
being
think
a
that
harlot.
doesn't have stamina. Find you another nigga.
Harlot. No, my cat has ever come back with her boyfriend with the audacity. She came back with her boyfriend. My guy, you disappear for 2 days and then you come back with your boifriend.
Come see my mom. She takes care of us.
She's just a typical
you wanna
babe.
eat?
You know, like after you've been in it, you're just like, you want to eat? Twende kwa nyumba tuangalie ni nini iko. We're in the car. Right? So yeah, anyway, moral of the story, I don't know how people work with their folks. I don't know how people, if you had to choose, right? Parents or siblings?
Parents.
Your sibling unamjua vizuri.
Vizuri sana. Very well.
But me, I think parent, silent. My mom is a partner in my business.
Oh, okay.
Silent. Okay. I talk to her. She's good at listening. Yeah. But no concrete decisions being made because this is my space.
Fact.
This is my space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do family business. I agree.
But if we set up something, I feel like me and my mom could set up something together.
And your dad?
I feel like
Okay,
I feel
it's
like
not a bit too
My
hard.
dad is
It's
easy
chill.
peasy. I feel like my folks, yeah.
Okay,
My siblings are
Siblings?
not so much.
I'd say parent as well, because there's a conversation we once had that apart from yourself, who else knows how much money you make? For me, my mom
Okay.
knows every single investment.
Yeah. Financial
coin,
decisions that
as
you
in-
make. Yeah.
And I run them through her as well. So
So it's
I
just
think there's
easier.
that level of
Wewe
trust
dem
and
akiingia kwa
investment.
maisha yako akona shida.
That's the way to go. We learned from Hakimi. We learned from Burna Boy.
Yeah.
That's how you
So
go.
let me ask you. So if a babe enters your life right now and you guys now are serious now, even taran, does your mom get relegated from the role she's playing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's serious. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Good to know.
Then when things umana, you're like, hey, you've been promoted again.
Right now, my eyes are open for me to know that ikianza, ikikuwa hapo serious, itakuwa ni serious ukweli umecheck kila box. I am not gonna overlook shit. I'll be like, at least she's pretty. Nah.
We'll wait.
hell
Carrie,
no.
we are waiting to see.
Anyway,
We are waiting to see. That's all I'm
Sarabi,
going to
of course,
say.
an awesome show. We've just picked so many things to talk
I
about
know, guys.
from just one show, and make sure you catch it. It's on DSTV stream. And guys, again, just want to remind you: subscribe, hit the subscribe button, follow, share, let people know about Boxpod. And there's a question that people usually ask, right? In the comment section, they're like, how does this show not have enough subscribers? Because you're watching without subscribing. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think is going on? Yeah?
I'm saying?
How are you watching us and you haven't hit the subscribe button? As guys, Kwanza, we want to take this message to the world. Ni nyinyi tu mna to slow down.
Yeah.
The ball is in your court.
So hit the subscribe button, like, share, and
Hear it.
Yeah. tell
And
a
if
friend,
you
tell
love
a
us
friend.
so much, watch every ad.
Oh
Don't
yeah, and
skip.
yeah. Hey, lakini ni difficult. Sorry, my bad. I said that out loud.
Don't.
It's okay. I was thinking it.
Yo,
I was
yo,
thinking-
yo.
Don't-
Watching ads is hectic.
If you love us,
Yeah, but if you love us, or
your ad break, enda uende uweke nini.
Usubscribe.
Yeah.
Utengeneze drink.
Absolutely.
Usubscribe.
Alafu rudi ukae.
Or better yet, you can just I don't know whether by this episode the till number will be ready. All right, so hit the like, subscribe, share, and remember to leave a comment. And we just want to, in fact, we're on our journey to 100K and we'd love your support because we meet a lot of you. Actually, did I tell you how Kigali, we have such a huge fan base?
Oh, yeah?
Oh my God, it was so bad. Anyway, yeah, so share with us so you can help us get to our journey for 100K. And if the till number is there, Maze, leave nothing less than 10K. Where?
So there.
I'm
I
kidding.
dare you to do it.
I mean, but
Yeah.
feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Go for it.
Dollars.
Yeah. If you're listening from outside the country, tutakuongezea PayPal.
Yeah.
Even Venmo we can get.
Yeah. I mean, we can do for you whatever,
Cash
as long
out.
as you're paying for it.
Hey.
We set it up.
Took out 3% as well, though.
I mean, for sure.
I'm
For
just
sure.
checking. I'm just
We
checking.
rich bitch.
Inflation is inflating.